Welcome back to Kleppers Corner, where we look at the news, history, and whatever strange combination of human ambition and bad decision-making got us here. Today, we're rolling back the calendar to August 26th, a day that history decided to overbook like a Spirit Airlines flight. Wars began and ended, rights were declared and denied, volcanoes exploded, and Katherine Johnson was born just to show us all how dumb we really are at math. So let's buckle up. This isn't just a random Tuesday. August 26th is basically humanity's group chat, chaotic, fiery, and full of people who should have been muted centuries ago. Segment 1, Knights, Arrows, and the End of Chivalry. First stop, the medieval battlefield. August 26, 1346, the Battle of Crécy. The English showed up with 16,000 troops. The French brought anywhere from 30,000 to 80,000 because medieval census data was basically a lot. And yet the English still won. Why? Because they brought the iPhone of the 14th century, the longbow. Picture this, English longbowmen firing 6 arrows a minute while French crossbowmen are still trying to reload, like your dad figuring out how to update his printer software. The French knights kept charging uphill in the mud into a literal wall of arrows. It's like watching toddlers run into a glass door 15 times in a row. At some point, you stop blaming physics and just blame bad parenting. And the longbow didn't just win battles, it broke feudalism. Suddenly, a farmer with a bow could drop a nobleman on a horse. That's right, democracy started not in Congress, but in a muddy field where peasants said, hey, maybe we don't need rich guys in armor running things anymore. Honestly, that should be a TED Talk. Segment 2, the Habsburgs begin their 640-year lease. Jump back to August 26, 1278, the Battle on the Marchfeld. King Rudolf of Habsburg defeats King Ottokar II of Bohemia, and with that, the Habsburg dynasty takes Austria. One victory sets up a family business that lasts until 1918. That's 6 centuries of political domination. The Kardashians wish they had that kind of staying power. It's kind of wild. One bloody cavalry fight basically gave us the entire weird jawline challenge family tree of Habsburg rulers. Without this battle, Europe would have had 600 fewer years of royal inbreeding and a whole lot fewer portraits of guys who look like they're trying to spit out invisible chewing gum. Segment 3, from trenches to Togoland. Flash forward to August 26, 1914. On the same day, the Battle of Tannenberg in East Prussia and the fall of German Togoland in West Africa. World War I wasn't just a European mess. It was an all-continents-must-participate group project. Tannenberg, a German slam dunk, where the Russians walked into a trap and lost almost their entire Second Army. Togoland, a German colony surrendered after 20 days to British and French troops. It's like Germany was winning on the home turf, but losing badly in the away games. The whole thing proves that empires don't just fight wars. They drag their colonies along for the ride like kids forced to go on their parents' boring road trip. Segment 4, Namibia's Heroes Day. Now to 1966, when the Namibian War of Independence kicks off. A guerrilla clash at Omagulu Wambashe becomes the start of a 24-year struggle for freedom from South African rule. Namibia now calls August 26 Heroes Day. Think about that contrast. Same date, but instead of knights charging into arrows or empires seizing colonies, you've got anti-colonial fighters saying, actually, we're done with this whole apartheid thing. That's progress. From peasants toppling knights to colonies toppling empires to Namibians toppling racist South African paratroopers. August 26 is basically history's version of New Phone Who Dis. Segment 5, Liberty's Awkward Birthdays. On August 26, 1789, the French Assembly adopts the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. Its Enlightenment philosophy meets political revolution. Liberty, equality, fraternity. All men are born free and equal, which was great, except they meant rich dudes with property. If you were a woman, poor, or enslaved, sorry, you were basically a deleted footnote. And then August 26, 1920 in the US, the 19th Amendment is certified. Women finally get the vote, thanks to Tennessee ratifying it by a single vote from a legislator whose mom told him to do it. Proof that sometimes history is made by one guy saying, fine mom, I'll clean my room and enfranchise half the population. But even then, not all women could vote. Poll taxes, literacy tests, and Jim Crow blocked millions. It's like the founders kept writing all men are created equal, but leaving the asterisks off the page. America's unofficial motto should just be, some restrictions apply. See racist local laws for details. Segment 6, when the earth yelled louder than humans. Now, let's talk about the real headliner. Krakatoa, 1883. On August 26th, the volcano began one of the deadliest eruptions in recorded history. The blast was so loud, it was heard 3,000 miles away. Imagine a volcano exploding in Indonesia and some guy in Australia turning to his wife like, "Did you hear that? Must be the neighbors again." It produced tsunamis 135 feet high, killed over 36,000 people, plunged the region into darkness for days, and dropped global temperatures by a full degree. Basically, Mother Nature decided to do climate change before ExxonMobil even existed. And yet, Krakatoa also jump-started modern science. Telegraph spread news globally, scientists documented weird sunsets in London, and barometers recorded the shock waves circling the Earth. It was the first time humanity realized, oh crap, we're all in the same group chat with nature, and she's very, very loud. Segment 7, human ambition and human messiness. August 26 also gives us some birthdays and deaths. Antoine Lavoisier, the father of chemistry, born 1743. Discovered oxygen's role in combustion, revolutionized science. Then the French Revolution chopped his head off because apparently France couldn't separate lab work from politics. William James, philosopher and psychologist, dies 1910. His big idea, pragmatism. Basically, if it works, it's true. Which sounds like science, but also like every excuse I ever gave my math teacher. Katherine Johnson, born 1918. NASA mathematician whose brain literally got us to the moon. Without her calculations, Neil Armstrong would have been a pancake somewhere in the Pacific. She did all this while facing racism and sexism. Forget hidden figures, she was a human cheat code. And Charles Lindbergh, who dies in 1974. First solo flight across the Atlantic, hero. Then he spends the late 30s cozying up to Nazis, villain. His life was basically the original cancelable celebrity arc. He's the Kanye of aviation. In conclusion, so there you have it, August 26th. A day where knights fell, dynasties rose, women got the vote, volcanoes blew, and science marched on. It's a reminder that history doesn't happen in neat little categories. It's messy, it's contradictory, it's violent, and sometimes it's just one guy's mom telling him to do the right thing. The weight of a single day like August 26 shows us the patterns of history. Conflict tearing things down, liberty trying to build things up, nature reminding us who's really in charge, and human beings stumbling somewhere in between. So next time you think your day was hectic, just remember, unless you toppled feudalism and franchised millions and exploded like the loudest volcano in history all before dinner, you probably had it easy.